Today, I'm going to be going through a full guided tour of the Privacy Policy Generator by Usercentrics. So if you've got a website, an app, really any kind of online business, you're going to want to stick around for this. I'm going to show you how it works and why you more than likely need it on your site. And the best thing is that this is absolutely free. So for one website, one privacy policy, so GDPR or CCPA, absolutely free. Day 1, day 14, day 1400. For those who own multiple sites or want to cover multiple regions, it's only $3, so £2 per month for unlimited policies. So straight to it. If your website collects personal data, then you almost certainly need this. You have your analytics running, a simple contact form, but what about those little social media share buttons or maybe a chat pop-up? If you have any of those, then yeah, your website is collecting and processing personal data. And a lot of this stuff just happens in the background, so you might not even realize that it's going on. So this is something that often gets overlooked, but for anybody running a website, is not something you can afford to overlook. So the privacy policy, you've seen it on every site, no doubt. It's usually at the bottom, grouped with the terms and conditions like it is down here, but they don't just come pre-built into every site. In fact, you've more than likely spun up a site and seen that there's a placeholder page for a privacy policy and then you've just left it, which is bad practice, because the best way to think about a privacy policy is like it's a contract of trust between you and your users. It's a public document out in the open that clearly states, here's the information we're collecting, here's why we're collecting it, and here's how we're going to keep it safe. And just like the cookie consent banner and the opt-in, this is really not something to take lightly. So depending on where your users live, you've got laws like Europe's GDPR or California's CCPA, and they are no joke. So we're talking about massive fines for not complying. And as I've mentioned before, these fines do not care if your business is big or small. So yeah, getting this right is absolutely not optional. I'll show you exactly how you can get this privacy policy generator set up. And by the way, guys, full disclaimer, Usercentrics was kind enough to sponsor this video. So if you're checking out the privacy policy, please use my link in the description. Let's go. So we're going to go ahead and start free, get logged in. And here's a tip, guys. If you are a registered company, LLC, LTD, trading as another business, so the business of the name of your site, then this is where you're going to want to put the limited company or the legal company name, trading as, and then the name of your site. It's optional. That's what I tend to do. I just want to make sure that my documents and everything are airtight, so there's no issues. So that's something I do. But if not, just put the name of the company here and select your country. Create account. All right, so now we're in. I'm just going to click create your privacy policy. And we've got privacy policy name. We're going to take away that one. We don't need that. And I want it in English. I'm going to be going for GDPR for Europe. Next. I'm just going to put Smart Directory Pro. Again, to put it in properly, I would say put the legal company name, trading as, and then the name of the business, just to keep things clean. And then here, ideally, if you have it, if not, make a note to create it later. But I'd say create an email address for specifically for privacy at, and then your business name. So let's go with that. And then the phone number, I've got to copy and paste my registered phone number. I'm not going to do that on here, of course. Let's just go with that. And then smartdirectorypro.com. And now, do you have a privacy data officer? I do not believe so. It's not happy with my my number. Okay, cool. Let's go. Cool. All right, so products and services. What services and products does your company provide? So here is where you would list all of the different products and services you provide. So for instance, if you're a web design company, you might offer web design as one product. You could also offer digital, like graphic design and things like that, content, all of those things. You would list the things that your company provides. Data collection. My company collects device data. Let users know what data you collect. If ever you are unsure, by now you know that you can copy any question you have into ChatGPT, just give it some context, maybe give it your website and ask what you need. But this is pretty straightforward. You know what you're collecting and what you're not. So I'm collecting first and last names when people make a purchase. I will be collecting IP address and email address, and payment information. I'm not entirely sure I should check because this is being handled by Stripe, so I will pass on that one. I'm not collecting health data or browsing history. Payment method and history, yes, I believe so. And I think that's it for personal data types, but you do want to go through and make sure these are things you are truly checking the things that you are collecting. Purpose of data collection, authentication and security, not entirely. Customizing and no, not entirely. Research and development, customer support, yes, and content delivery. I think those are the ones. Analytics and performance tracking, that will be one as well. If you have ads running on your site, I guess you will want to select analytics and performance tracking, but I think there will be one for, okay, there's marketing and advertising. This is not why I'm collecting data. I feel like I should still check it. I'm going to check it to be safe. And I am in a sense advertising, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. So I would generally copy all of that into ChatGPT, explain what my business does, give it a link, or better yet, use a scraping tool, and yeah, you can really make sure that you're getting things right if it's that important to you. So data, location, storage. Where am I storing the data? Specify data storage. It's going to be, let's just put the UK. But do you see why it's important to go through this stuff? Because if you're just using the generic generated one, or that basic one that shows up on your WordPress site, which isn't even, it's just a placeholder. But a lot of people don't know that it's a placeholder, and then they leave it and that's on their site, and it's a real bad experience. It's actually not good. So you're not protected in any way. Are you using any data protection measures? I'm gonna say yes. Because it gives me the chance to go in and look at what these are. If I just select no, it's like we're not protecting your data. So yeah. So I am using encryption. I am definitely using encryption when you make a purchase. Things are encrypted, your license key, all of that stuff. Things are encrypted. You have full access control. Security audits and monitoring. Scans. You're always checking to make sure that your site is safe and there's no malicious things on there, and we're checking for malware and all of that stuff. So again, worth looking at, considering, making sure that you are truly doing those things. Data sharing. Do you share personal data with third-party providers? This one is a bit confusing for me because I do share it with Stripe. So okay, here we go. See, this is why, again, just check yes, look at the list. If it's true, then it's true. So it's worth going through rather than just saying no, because you won't be compliant. So Google Analytics is not on this particular site. Google Ads, Google Maps, Google Font. Wow, these all are data sharing things, aren't they? Cloudflare. Again, I don't think it's on this site, but it will be. I was expecting to see something like Stripe, but that doesn't fall into that category. So you can add more, but I don't think I won't do that. So provide the URL to your cookie policy. Oh, very important. Direct marketing and communications. Do you ask your visitors for consent to direct marketing? Do you have an opt-out link to your email and text messages? Yes, that's if you've got unsubscribe on your emails. If a customer signs up on your site, or even just they join your mailing list, you need to have, this is standard anyway, you need to have an unsubscribe button. If you don't, you're just not following best practices for email anyway, and your deliverability rate is going to be awful. So yeah, you need to have an unsubscribe, some way for them to be able to get rid of you when they want to, and that's very important. So data breach notification. Do you want to add response time for? Not particularly. Policy updates and changes. Do you want to notify? No. Do you require opt-in material for changes? I'm going to go with no. Generate. So that did take a bit longer than the 30 seconds that they said. I'm going to lean towards maybe 5-10 minutes, especially if you want to make sure that you're going through everything and making sure that you've done it properly. But it's still, that was pretty quick. I've made this longer than it needs to be because I explain things, but that was pretty quick. But I would say, again, if you're going through the trouble of, I say the trouble of, but you need this. So if you're going to be doing a privacy policy, if you have something, or you've taken the generic one, or you've just copied and pasted something and it's not necessarily true for your site, then you definitely want to go and check that out. And they do clearly offer other things that you wouldn't get from just copying and pasting one, because you've got updates and all of those things. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good shout. Now, installing it, we've got HTML code, which is nice and easy. If you are a vibe coder like me, I would just give this to Claude and say, implement this, and I'll be done with it. If you are and then this is where you want it to display. So you'd put this in your head tags on your site, and then this is where you would display it. So you create your privacy policy page, paste this, and then it's going to show up. So that's the setup, plain and simple, super simple. So again, if you have installed like Google Manager tags or Google Analytic tags, they will be in the head of your site, and this is exactly where this would go. So place it at the top. And the next thing would be, if you do not want to mess with HTML, even as simple as that is, if you don't want to mess with that and you're on WordPress, you are in luck, because there is a WordPress plugin. So all you do is, well, one, we get to preview it. So this is how it would look. It's got powered by Usercentrics. Everything's nicely optimized. We've got the headings. We've got these nice tables, links to the places that they need to go and check things out, to look at what's being done with their data. And then here is where you can see the information that you've given it is embedded. You've got the email, you've got the number, and then all the compliant information for GDPR, and then all the information they need. So what you would do is you take your privacy policy ID. I'm going to go to done, and I need to get this plugin. So again, if you're using WordPress, you're going to download the free Usercentrics Privacy Policy Generator plugin and upload that to your site. And again, we're just copying the ID it gave us and pasting that in, and then it's set up. So we don't have to worry about the HTML and the code snippet. We just copy and paste the ID. So let's go and do that now. You upload your plugin, install now, activate, connect your account, paste your ID, connect privacy policy, and done. Just like that, done. So if you already have the page, awesome. I've got the draft. Publish policy. Yes, it's fine that will be overwritten, and I need to take it out of draft. Let's see if it's gone live or taken out. Yeah, okay, perfect. There we go. Nice and simple. If you found this video useful and you want to check out the Privacy Policy Generator, the link is in the description. Until next time, peace.